Today we will have part 17 of our course in software project management. It will be about process selection. Which process model will be the best for your project? If same process model will fit for all your projects, will you go for a different process model now that your existing process model is not giving you best results on your projects? So these are some questions which you ask when a new project arrives and you have to decide which process model will be best for this new project. So process selection is all about selecting a process model for a project, and there are many factors based on which you will make the decision. These questions are being asked by many organizations who run software projects and are not sure which process model will be the best for them. Every software project is different from other software projects, so the same process model will not fit for all of them. If you are able to categorize projects based on size, industry, purpose, etc., then you will be able to put any project in some category. All projects within the same category will have similar attributes like size, industry, purpose, etc. You then can select a suitable process model for all the projects falling in this category. So, the factors which decide a process selection may include the project size. If, for example, if the project is large, then the process model will be different. For example, for large projects, generally a waterfall model is more suitable than for smaller projects. Then the industry. So uh, industry also impacts selection of a process model. For example, if you are developing a software product for social media, then agile process is better suited because uh, for social media you want to reach to the market at the earliest possible, and you can build the product incrementally depending on the market requirements. So, in this scenario, waterfall model may not work at all. Similarly, for traditional industries, like you need to build a software for say in steel industry, then the waterfall model may be better suited because already there are products in the market which cater to their needs, and a new product will also have the same requirements, like because uh, already there are so many products in the market, and if you are a new entrant and you are building a new product, so that product should have a similar kind of functionality, and these functionalities are very large. The requirements are very large, so you cannot de- create a new software product using a small team. If you are going for agile model, then you cannot have a very large team, right? So you need to have a very large team to build such kind of products. So waterfall model may be better suited. Then purpose. So purpose may include if the product is new, or it is you are developing some extension to some existing product, or you are uh, doing some maintenance of an existing product. So these factors will also impact your process model. So generally, a model, uh, if selected for a project, should deliver certain things which will you can consider as success factors. So the project should start on time. So the process model should allow you to do that. Then project should end on time. So the model should be so good that it will not create any problems during project execution, and project execution can happen as per expected. and within budget. So the process model defines most of the things in the project, so including the cost. So generally, the project should be completed with the expected budget proposals. Then right quality. So you can define the quality level in the beginning of the project because the model you selected is well suited and you should be able to achieve that quality level because of the good model. Benefits of waterfall model. So let us kindly consider some benefits of waterfall model. So one is project visibility. So in waterfall model, you create a very elaborate project planning. You define all the aspects about uh, dependency of project tasks on each other, start dates of the project task, end date of the project task, resources required, and you have the clear vision across the project. So say 6 months from now, what task will be going on the project, how many resources will be working on the project, and when the milestones can be achieved. So these things will be known to you even today. So that means you have a very good visibility across the project. So waterfall model allows you to have such visibility. Then predictability. So since you have a very good visibility and you have very stable, you can say execution environment, then everything will be can be predicted in advance. So you can know when you will be able to achieve a milestone. Then fine grain project details. So in waterfall model it is possible to provide a very detailed project plan. So it is a good thing for any project because uh, if you have all the details, then y- controlling the project is much easier. Then accountability. So since everything is detailed out, then the person who is responsible for a task is also known, and if anything goes wrong, then it will be very clear who made some mistake at what level, and the person you can should be accountable directly. You can establish the accountability of such things. Then weaknesses of waterfall model. So waterfall model has weaknesses. So first of all is upfront investment. So it will be very large and upfront investment in waterfall model because suppose the project is going to run for 2 years. So everything for those 2 years you are agreeing and you are making a commitment. So we will commit for the budget, how much cost you will incur. You will commit for time of the resources. You will commit for the quality level. So it's a big risk, you can say. So the next one is high risk. So due to this upfront large investment, definitely there will be high risk because something may go wrong along the way in these 2 years, and you cannot predict those risks so much in advance. So it is a very high risk proposition. Then rigid. It is rigid because you always stick to the baseline for the project. So you cannot have any changes on the way during the project execution because every task is planned and it is very difficult to change. And if any change is required, it is very costly. So the rigidity brings very high cost of making any changes. Then long gestation period. So generally, since the project will start and only then you will be able to have your software product. So it is a long gestation period. So this is a disadvantage of waterfall model. Now let us consider the agile model. So agile model is flexible. Obviously, it is the greatest strength of agile model. So, uh, for example, currently you may know some market demand for some software product features. So you may like to build them, but you are not building it. You have planned it for future. But suppose in future these requirements from the market get changed. So since you have not made any commitment for these features, so you don't lose any money or time, or you don't have to worry, because you can easily change your requirements, and you can build the software product at that point of time. So this model is really very flexible. Then low risk. So since you do not make large commitments, so risks are very low. So suppose uh, after say two iterations of software product development, you find that uh, you made something wrong. You made a wrong decision about executing this project, and it is not it won't give you good results. So you can decide to shelve this project. So you lose only 2 weeks of cost and time. So risk is very low. Incremental development. So on agile projects, you build software product incrementally. So it is a good thing, because you don't need to worry about building something which may be delivered 6 months from now. Generally, most of the software features uh, you want to include, they may be available to you in 2 3 weeks when the iteration finishes. So incremental development is a very good thing. Then low initial investment. So you can start a agile project uh, without much budget in your hand, because you don't need to keep money for say 1 year. You only should have money in your hand for say 2 3 weeks. So initially investment is very low. And here are some weaknesses of agile model. So small team size. So agile models work on a small team size. They do not allow to have large teams. So suppose you need to build a very large software product in a very short period of time. But since agile models do not allow to have a very large team, building such a product is not feasible. So this is one shortcoming of agile model. Then negligible documentation. On agile models, they believe in having a co-located team who will be communicating with each other verbally, and they do not need any documentation to be kept, because documentation involves time and money. You need to put somebody who will be documenting, and since on agile model, uh, you, you do not believe in documenting. You just rely on verbal communication, which is fast and easy, since the people are co-located. No third party involvement. So it is difficult to engage a service provider who can take some part of the software product development for you. But it is not possible on agile model, because uh, the agile model believes to have only a small project team, and if service providers comes in the picture, then the project team will become very large. And at the same time, it is not possible for service providers to to work on site. Generally, most of the service providers have some part of their team working offsite and even offshore. So it is not possible for third party involvement on agile projects. No knowledge management. So since you are not creating any documents, so knowledge management will not be there. And since knowledge management relies heavily on good documentation. Now here is the list of practices for software projects. So one is communication management. So communication should be very good on projects because miscommunication will always lead to software defects because people may miss uh, may have misunderstanding of any say design or any product feature, and so the design or construction will be faulty. So good communication is a must on software projects. Then configuration management. Configuration management is very important because there will be many versions of the software product during product development. So you need to ensure the people on the project are working on the right version and not on the wrong version. Then supplier management. So on most software products, there are service providers whose teams work on some part of the development of the software product. So a good supplier management is very important. Then documentation. So documentation is important because during project execution, you need to trace back. So documentation, if you have a good documentation, then you can do that. You can refer the document for say history or say for tracing. If there is no documentation, then these things are not possible. Visibility and control. So good visibility in the project will give you a good tool to control the project because uh, suppose in 1 week's time you need two resources for designing the software product. So since you have 1 week's time in your hand, you can easily find out the right people to allocate those tasks. Then quality assurance. So quality assurance is very important because uh, faulty software products are not acceptable and they involve a very high support cost. So good quality must be there so that the support costs are not high and the product um, works very well and users don't have to complain about the quality of the product. So quality assurance is very important. Then concurrent engineering. So concurrent engineering is important because it allows you to collapse uh, your project plan because one task you can break into many pieces and you can assign different resources to these pieces of work and they may work simultaneously so that the entire product is developed in a very small amount of time. Then continuous process improvement. So process improvement is a very important area because you need to improve your process so that you can cut project cost, you can cut project times, and you can improve quality. So all these things are possible only when you have a continuous process improvement. Then here are some list which shows which process model will be suitable for which scenario. So if you have a large project size, then waterfall model is the best suited one. If you have unclear requirements, then iterative agile model is better suited. If you have rapid development requirement, then the waterfall with concurrent engineering is the best model for you. If outsourced projects are needed, then waterfall or modified agile is the model for you. Modified agile here is agile which has been modified to suit the needs. Like you can outsource some part of the project, so you need to modify your agile model. Then commercial off the shelf implementation projects. So software packages like SAP or Oracle apps, they are COTS software products, and they need to be implemented. So waterfall model used to be the model for implementing those projects, but now agile models have also come up. So for example, for implementing SAP packages, there is a model which is known as ASAP, accelerated SAP. So in this model, you can implement a SAP software product for a customer in a very short period of time. Then SaaS implementation projects. So SaaS software products are very similar to COTS products. So waterfall model or agile, both can be suitable for implementing these products. Then open source projects. So open source projects are of different nature. So depending on the needs, waterfall or agile can be used for these projects. Then mid-sized projects. So rational unified process is best suited for mid-sized projects because uh, they inside the this process model, you can iterate within each phase of the software project, and you can refine the phases themselves, and this kind of setting is good for mid-sized projects. Then knowledge management requirements. If you need knowledge management, then waterfall model is the best one because in waterfall model you do a lot of documentation, and based on the documentation you can have a very good knowledge management system. Then process improvement requirements. If you need to improve your processes further, so waterfall model in waterfall model you can implement process improvement techniques easily. But in agile model also, you can have this when you modify your agile model to allow process improvement. Same process across organization. If you want to have project processes which are very same across projects for your entire organization, then waterfall model is best suited because waterfall model allows you to have uh, say program management processes running well. But modified agile models can also be used. So the standard agile models can be modified to have the same kind of uh, process going across all the projects throughout the organization. And then if you need to have statistical process control requirements, then waterfall or modified agile are well suited. So in statistical process model, like you want to assign accounting for each task, and you need to keep track of all the accounting. So in waterfall model, it is very easy because you have a very well defined project plan, and there you have set the milestones, you have set all the dates, everything you have chalked out. So it is very easy to implement statistical process controls on waterfall model. But on modified agile, it is also possible to do that. But the time window is very short for agile because, say, for each iteration running for say 2 weeks. So for that period, you can find out how to account for all the activities on the project, and then since for the next iteration you do not have fixed many things, they are still very open. So for that you cannot uh, implement statistical process control only when it comes in picture, when the iteration starts, only then you can start measuring. So even though it is immature for agile projects, but slowly some measurement techniques are coming, and it is allowing to have statistical process control for agile models. So this was all about process selection. So thanks for your time, and bye for now.